we gotta do is win. So if they sleep on you, tuck them in. Meet me at the top, if you fall, I'll drop my pen. So many stars in the making, thank you, sing. Eyes on the prize, I say passionate. I got the sauce like Diana, vision like Matheson. They say patience is a virtue, so I went around the world and back again. Now NSL be on the map, no more imagining, it's happening.
Toronto's BMO Field is the site of today's matchup between AFC Toronto and the Montreal Roses. Just 2 points separate these teams in the standings, with second place up for grabs today. Toronto's on a tear lately, unbeaten in 4, but if you believe in curses, listen to this. They have never won at BMO Field. As for Montreal, they're coming off a shocking loss in the W Canadian Championship quarterfinal, followed by the sudden termination of their head coach. So they'll be looking for a response after what was a turbulent week. Well, come on in and hang out with us. This is the NSL on TSN, brought to you by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. I'm Kate McKenna. She's former Canadian Women's National Team captain, Amy Walsh. And I just mentioned news that sent shockwaves around the NSL, the firing of Montreal Roses head coach Robert Rossitoiu. What did you make of this?
I was shocked myself, and I think a lot of the players were probably left reeling, but I think this is the body of work over the last couple of years where they sputtered towards the end. They sort of limped over the finish line for year one where they started really strong. So I think in terms of the sporting director and Marinette Pichon and leadership, they were well aware of this, and the team wasn't performing, and I think Rossitoiu gets the axe as a result. You know, this team, in terms of their attack, sputtering again, a little bit lackluster. They have the talent, they have the acquisitions here where they should be performing much better than the numbers that if you look at it recently, and Rossitoiu unfortunately gets sacrificed as a result.
It's interesting as you consider all of the head coaches in this league, given that Katrina Peterson has announced that she'll be leaving the Rapid at the end of this season. As it stands, just 2 of the league's original coaches will still be with their clubs next season. That's Marko Milanovic and Vancouver's Anya Heiner-Muller. And you see there Maurice Bard-Martel. You also see her name at the bottom there. She's the interim head coach of Montreal. She did occupy that role for 2 games earlier this season. And she is someone who the club hopes to invest in as a coach moving forward. And Amy, you brought up the sporting director, Marinette Pichon. You brought up the body of work too. And she says this decision wasn't as a result of a single loss or 2 losses in a row. Is there a specific area where this team's really struggling on the pitch?
Yeah, I do have to say it seemed reactive because they lost to Simcoe County Rovers, but this team has underperformed for a while now. So overall, the attack, they've lacked solutions, but specifically, even though they've only conceded 17 goals, defending in the box has been abysmal. They have numbers here, they're seemingly in control, and you're still gifting a shot for Benatti there for the Tides that should have been in the back of the net. Player here in Whitaker who's isolated versus Downing, who does good work to be able to swing in that cross, but that ball should never pitch. So that should be a concerted effort between Karpenko and Seto to be able to clear that and communicate. Here you see the same thing, a little bit of hesitation from Karpenko on the line, but the defending there, you have Mbala who's right on there, you know, you have other players who are there, but nobody is going to the ball and being physical and really dictating terms in the box. And then as the play continued, players got a little bit more desperate, but lacked solutions again, and then not enough pressure on the ball. And so you saw a semi-pro side like Simcoe really push back, and I think the reverberations were felt in the firing of Rossitoiu.
And in that game, the effort just wasn't there. And that's one thing Maurice Bard-Martel told us, is that effort is non-negotiable. And here's how the interim head coach will line her team up today. The starting lineup brought to you by DoorDash. She's not rocking the boat. She's reinserting Lucy Capadona and Haley Whitaker. She says the plan is to build off the foundation that's already been laid. And we know that when things are in flux, teams look to their leaders. So let's hear from Rose's co-captain Tanya Boychuk. She's with Camila Gonzalez.
Tanya, a bit of an eventful week for the Roses, and of course with an interim head coach stepping in. What's the energy like in the locker room? What do you want to see from the team adapting to this change heading into today's match?
Yeah, what I'd say is I'm very proud of the team. I think the way that we've adapted over the past couple of days with a couple events that we weren't expecting, obviously, I'm just very proud. I think we're resilient, and it's how teams bounce back from situations like this that shows their character.
And A couple of matches without a goal for Montreal Roses. Can you just talk about, for you personally, what you're prioritizing in today's match and what you want to see from the team to make sure that you're converting in that final third?
I think goals come from doing the right things, and we're going to keep trying to put ourselves in the right positions to create these opportunities, and the goals are going to come funneling in once we make the right runs and make the selfless passes and runs to create these opportunities.
Well, thank you so much. Good luck today. Bonne chance.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Some French flair there. Thank you, Camila. To Toronto's captain now, Nikki Small. She has been so consistently good. Started every match, leads the league in tackles. What do you like about her game?
I love watching Nikki Small play. I think it was a loss for Canada that she goes to represent Jamaica, but kudos to her for starting her international career. You've seen her deployed a little bit deeper this year. That's filling the Emma Regan-sized hole that was left with her departure to NWSL, but it's also the need for the experience, for the wily veteran, for a clever player who understands the game like Small to be a little bit deeper. But last year, these are clips from last year where she had much more goal contributions, was higher up the pitch. That's what she can offer. She can be on the end of things and punish teams, or she can play provider if she's operating in half spaces. There you see her again, right around the penalty spot, able to convert. So Nikki Small can give you tons going forward, but she can also help insulate your back line and build out of the back, and that's what AFC Toronto wants. And I think you're going to probably mention this, I'm going to steal it. Marko Milanovic wishes he could clone a Nikki Small and have her play a multitude of positions all over the pitch.
She absolutely does. Let's look at the starting 11 now for AFC Toronto, brought to you by DoorDash. Nyota Katembo and Olivia Chisholm both reinserted. Olivia Chisholm just 17 years old, but Marko Milanovic says the sky is the limit for her. Let's go pitch side now. Camila Gonzalez is with Nikki Small.
Obviously welcoming some home fans and an exciting game ahead. But I do know that this is a team that has not been able to get those 3 points in this stadium. So how much of a priority is it for you today to get those 3 points?
I think we just go into every game the same way. I think no matter we're at BMO or at York, we're trying to win for our fans, and I think that's what we're going to try to do today.
And Nikki, of course, this is also a squad that you're facing that has had a recent coaching change. And, you know, Marko was talking about it earlier this week, just about how sometimes those teams have a little bit more momentum. What's your priority, your focus against Montreal today? Does that change the approach?
I don't think our approach changes at all. I think we're going to control what we can control and not worry about the uncontrollables, and we're just going to play our game.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Nikki. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Here's a look at the current standings. The Ottawa Rapid in first, and the Montreal Roses and AFC Toronto in a tight battle for second place. Well, teams and fans getting set to go at BMO Field. And here's a stat AFC Toronto fans may not love. The Roses have yet to lose on the road this season. We have kickoff coming up. Amy Walsh and Matt Cullen with the call.
Welcome on board our new Triangle Rewards and WestJet Rewards partnership. Prior to earning, ensure your accounts are securely linked. In the event you shop or fly with us, earn Canadian Tire money and WestJet points on all eligible purchases. Breathe normally and secure your own rewards before assisting others. Take a moment to locate where you can spend once and earn twice. Link today and watch your rewards take off. First game. First whistle. First goal. First jersey. First autograph. First favorite player. First away game. First big win. First time thinking, that's gonna be me. Firsts help us move forward together. Toyota, founding partner of the first professional women's soccer league in Canada.
Watching dough rise always fills me with inspiration.
Don't ever look at my savings account. The dough doesn't rise.
BMO has 2 simple ingredients to make your savings rise. Great interest rates and no monthly fees.
Yeah, that would do it all right.
Plus, get a cash bonus for opening a checking and savings account.
So BMO helps your savings grow bigger faster.
Like a triple dose of yeast.
You're hired.
What? No, I wasn't looking for it.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
BMO.
This Northern Super League match is brought to you by Simons, proud fashion partner of the NSL. And by WestJet, the official airline of the NSL.
Welcome to BMO Field in Toronto, and along the lakeshore today, the Montreal Roses will look to put a turbulent week behind them in a key clash against AFC Toronto. Battle for second place in the Northern Super League as just 2 points separate these two teams. Anne-Marie Canuel set to begin this match. Great to be alongside Canadian Soccer Hall of Famer Amy Walsh. My name is Matt Cullen. Always fun, Amy, when these two teams meet.
Montreal-Toronto, always one of the best rivalries in sport.
And Montreal did pick up a win here at BMO early on this season. It was a chilly early season match. A late goal from Elise Bennett giving the Roses a win. Katembo and Olivia Chisholm, two of the changes today for Marko Milanovic. AFC Toronto has gone 4 straight without a loss, Amy, and has also only conceded 2 goals in that span. They've been certainly on a bit of a tear. Also just 2 losses in their last 11. So this is a difficult challenge here for Montreal away today.
It is certainly, but from AFC Toronto's perspective, they sputtered a little bit and they were struggling for fluency going forward without Esther Okoronkwo, who had an injury. Then she was gone to WAFCON. But with Hunter and Rowe on 7 goals and 2 assists each, it always helps to be able to outscore mistakes. And that's something they want to try to mitigate today and not concede past the 85th minute.
One of the thorns in AFC Toronto's side has been the late goals, and Nicola Golan scored 1 against Toronto a week ago to salvage a 2-2 draw for the Rapid. I mentioned the turbulent week for the Montreal Roses. A loss to Simcoe County in the W Canadian Championship really rocked the boat. Opportunity here for Montreal in the early goings here with a shot on target from Whitaker. And Sabrina D'Angelo down to make her first save here at BMO.
A little bit of confusion between Katembo and Small as who was putting pressure on Whitaker. A little bit too casual, but better from Montreal in the build-up, a little bit more creativity, an overlapping run from Seto. So they always do better when they're able to get the likes of Sauve on the left, Seto on the right involved, and lots of interchanging happening with Whitaker and Boychuk.
Now, despite the coaching change, Amy, there has been a lot of positive points for Montreal this year. In terms of attacking, defending, still some of the better numbers in the league, and they also don't have an away loss this year.
It's pretty impressive, which is why I think a lot of people were perplexed and shocked by the fact that Rosatoyu was sacked. But I think it was, I mentioned it with Kate, last year they ran into similar problems where second half of the season they lacked some spark going forward. They didn't have that same joy and just weren't nearly as effective as they were the beginnings of the year, and now that's 2 years running that was the same issue.
Top of the penalty area here. So Roses look to try and beat some of the attacking here with Mimi Alitu. It's back to Bilbao. A high arcing ball crosses to Boychuk and Valerie Seto. Plays to Bennett. Bennett, great ball in. Boychuk into the middle, and Pickett with a solid boot sends that away.
And there's that triangulation that we come to expect. And it's Maurice Bard-Martel the plan was always for her to take the reins, but accelerated a little bit with this latest news. But she's building on the foundation that Rosatoyu and Pichon as a sporting director set. But that movement there with Bennett coming off the back line, and then you've got the runners going in and Boychuk really busy and creating things over on the right. That's what you expect when you're looking at the Roses and what makes them tick. So hopefully more of that to come as the away side.
And that was really the message sent with the change this week, that with the roster and the players and the quality that they do have, they expect better results. And Marko Milanovic is certainly aware of that, and he's also certainly aware that his team has never picked up a full 3 points at BMO Field. This is now match number 6.
Do you think you took the TTC today or an Uber because you asked him about parking spots and maybe getting rid of some bad juju?
He has been moving his parking spots around depending on the results. He did mention that he would not be driving today. We'll have to follow up and figure out what the plan was.
I always figure that's a good rule of thumb in Toronto anyway. Big fan of the subway.
Especially down in a busy spot there. Of course, the CNE coming up, starting in about a week or so. BMO Field will be a busy spot. Nice day for it here as well, 23 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy. Really ideal temperatures here. Granagakis, who scored in the last match against Ottawa on a deflection, plays a good ball forward. Taken here by Lauren Rowe. You can hear the roar of the BMO crowd as Rowe gets into the penalty area, but backtracking nicely there. The Roses do a good job, and Lucy Capadona comes away with the ball, and she missed the midweek match against Simcoe County, and that presence was certainly felt.
That stung. I couldn't save the Roses from their blushes as they lost to that semi-pro side, but full credit to Simcoe County for coming up with the cup set. But you could tell in the way that they were building and trying to progress the ball, but also certainly their defending, and particularly the defending in the box, that they really missed Lucy Capadona.
Dvorsky will leave this one into touch. Taken back by Colby Barnett. In the middle for Sarah Rollins, who's not missed a minute this year for AFC Toronto. Given away here, though, by the home side. It's Whitaker again. Unable to try and put the ball through, and Pickett will make amends, and Victoria Pickett coming from the back line to jump ahead. Strategakis, Boychuk keeping things close. Ball in the penalty area again. It's Rowe looking to put it back into the middle. Takes a touch or two, headed on, and a deflection comes to Pechersky.
Just took a little bit too long, Lauren Rowe did. Maybe hung on to it before she could release somebody or send a cross.
All played down. There's no foul call there as play continues along. 17-year-old Olivia Chisholm in for her 8th start of the season. The young Bright Stars for AFC Toronto. Another giveaway though. Alidou looking to threaten. Top of the penalty area. Rollins recovers.
A little bit of sloppy play by both teams, but it was Victoria Pickett stepping out of the back line, and nobody drives forward from the right back position like Victoria Pickett. She's got speed, grace. She's able to weave between players and really trigger the attack from a deeper lying position. She's a weapon in disguise back there.
And there is the interim manager, Maurice Bard-Martel, 31 years old, from Boisbriand, Quebec, just north of Montreal. Also been on the touchline a couple of times earlier this year when Robert Rosatoyu was away from the team. Not looking to revolutionize anything, likes the base. Very solid base, she says, but we'll add her own little spice.
Yeah, exactly. Those were her exact words, and I'm sure we will see her put her stamp on this team, but it's pretty coherent and established, and I think it's just about the players reclaiming that identity that allows them to impose themselves in matches.
Goalkeeper in her playing days with the Canadian Youth National programs, and also had a very solid career at the NCAA level. Now played forward. Great little spot there from Sauvé. Alidou already on 1 goal for Montreal. Puts this ball in. It's dangerous. Not finished off by the Roses, who are buzzing early on. Here's Charlotte Bilbao, French midfielder. Plays to Seto.
Not only are the Roses looking much more dynamic, much more lively in possession, but their counter press so far has been very effective for them in that attacking third.
Bilbao again surveying the situation. AFC Toronto making things difficult. Strategakis on the ball again. To engage the dangerous attack with Kaylee Hunter. We've seen Lauren Rowe a couple of times, both on 7 goals this year. 2 off the NSL lead, which is now held by Jessica DeFilippo after a brace in Vancouver last night. 2-1 come from behind win for the Rise. And Amy, you've been busy this weekend. Been on all 3 matches. A thriller in Calgary with the Wild somehow finding some great mid-season form, winning 4-3 over top of the table Ottawa.
Yeah, thrilling football. It's been a privilege to be part of all of the football in NSL this weekend, but Jess DeFilippo, big game player.
Looking for Hunter, that one read nicely. Sauvé and Minas into the middle, Aliju.
There's that great work defensively that we talked about off the top of the show with Nikki Small. They need to get her up the pitch, so not only stopping attacks, the recoveries, and then charging forward, but get numbers and bodies forward and advance that midfield line.
To Katembo, neat little step over, driving, ball is in the middle, take it back, save Karpenko and cleared away. That's a big early stop from the Montreal keeper.
Clever bit of footwork by Katembo on that right-hand side to be able to drive that byline, but familiar territory for Karpenko, whether she's at York Lions Stadium or BMO Field. She comes up with some timely saves for the Roses.
Third in NSL saves this year, and with perhaps Montreal on shaky ground with confidence, been held goalless in 3 of their last 4 games across all competitions. Getting a big save from the keeper definitely doesn't hurt. One back by the Roses. Barnett, though, does well to take that away.
Yeah, well read. So this is the great bit of work here by Katembo to keep it on her right foot. And then Hunter gets a try right on the edge of that 6-yard box, but Anna Karpenko was up to the challenge.
Been in the net for every Roses game this year. Kaylee Hunter is one of the best. Another great young talent in this league. But denied on that chance. Nikki Small leads the Northern Super League in tackles this year. So last year as well. We have the first foul here coming in the 13th minute.
She's got a real understanding of the game, impeccable timing. She's going into duels and trying to win tackles, recover the ball and go the other way. But overall, it's Nikki Small. It's her leadership, but it's also her vision. Got great trust, though, by the coaching staff and Marko Milanovic in Olivia Chisholm, who's playing the anchor, that holding midfielder, which will allow Nikki Small the freedom to get up higher on the pitch.
Zadorsky plays into Rowe. Rowe, another tricky little touch. Rollins is up there as well. And the Roses do a fine job defending that. Sent away for Bennett. There's Colby Barnett. Trying to go up and over, and Capadona sends us away. Into Aliju, to Boychuk. Montreal will look to organize itself again. 5 wins and 2 draws playing away this year. AFC Toronto, it's been really the opposite, have not really had a whole lot of home form this year. Mentioned the streak at BMO, which they would love to snap today, but just 1 win overall. Playing at either York Lions Stadium or BMO Field. But starting to turn the corner, and if AFC Toronto can win today, they will be in sole possession of 2nd place behind Ottawa.
It's really important for them, not only just to break that curse of playing at BMO Field, but just to get going in the right direction and start to chip away at the teams that are ahead of them, notably their opponent today.
Well, 7 of their final 10 games will be at home, and 5 of them will be at BMO. So definitely time to start picking up some points here.
Take care of that. Burn some sage. You gotta do something.
Doesn't happen today. We'll really have some questions to ask about superstitions.
Yeah, so Montreal's been quite effective down that right-hand side, and it's the likes of Boychuk, Alidou combining, and then Bennett getting involved as that number 9 pulling over to the right-hand side. But they must get Lisa Peczurski involved in the match now. She was a little bit peripheral, and she was clearly frustrated that midweek game that they lost to Simcoe County Rovers in Canadian Championships. And you do see the overload in the numbers to AFC Toronto's advantage in the middle of the park. So I wouldn't be surprised to see her drift over and do a little bit more channel running and find the width for the Roses on the left.
All right, quarter of an hour now has come and gone. Let's check in pitch side with Camila Gonzalez.
Thanks, Matt. AFC Toronto is back at BMO Field, and as you mentioned, they last played here just before the historic Men's World Cup matches, but the real history would be if they could secure the 3 points. They have yet to win on this pitch, and AFC Toronto head coach Marko Milanovic did talk to us earlier this week about the danger of facing a team with a recent coaching change, since you see a bit of a new spark, a desire to win. And I've got my eyes here on Maurice Bard-Martel, and she is bringing plenty of energy and talking to her team constantly, trying to hype them up. So we will see whether today is the day that AFC Toronto finds the 3 points that they've been chasing at BMO Field since April 19th of last year, when they played their very first match here, Matt.
Great point, Camila. Yeah, it is mid-season here, Amy, but a lot on the line here in this one today.
Bragging rights first and foremost, right? Pride, all of that stuff. And I think for their fans as well. Plus, it's something that's talked about. We as media, we won't shut up about it, right? So that's part of it as well. But more than that, you keep your eyes on the prize, and you just want to go out and claim those 3 points, to Camilla's point.
Had a chance to talk to Maurice Bard-Martel as well. Had a couple of chances this year as well. She really seemed ready to relish this new opportunity, even though she did say that no transition like this can be considered smooth, but a familiar voice in the room, and obviously a great coaching and playing career up to this point as well.
Yeah, the players have tons of respect for, as does the brass at Montreal Roses. And I think it's accelerated a little bit, but she also mentioned much respect and much gratitude for the foundation that was laid by Robert Rasitoyu.
Rollins, Victoria Pickett played 90 minutes in 3 straight games since returning to injury, so some good news there that she is finding her full fitness again. Tembo. Chisholm and Rowe. Rowe with a good step. Taken down awkwardly there by Minas. Picked up by Stratigatkis. Driving towards the penalty area. Plays out wide. Taken there by Colby Barnett to the middle. Takes a touch. A second and a third. Now will strike it off the bar. It stays out, and the foul is given against AFC Toronto. What an attempt there, right off the woodwork from Barnett.
Stunning play by Colby Barnett. We're used to seeing her keep it on that left foot, but she beats 1, not 2, but 3 Roses players, keeps going away from goal, but finds enough pace and power on this shot and just catches the underside of the bar. Had Karpenko beaten, but can't beat the frame.
Kaylee Hunter now will look to test this back line, and has won a corner, first corner here in the 19th minute. And we saw Colby Barnett score a stunner of a goal with her left boot against Calgary. That was with the right off balance, somehow managed to get a great deal of power behind it and almost scored a beauty.
And that type of technique, you're usually able to get your foot around it and generate a lot more spin on the ball, really wrap your foot around it, get the swerve. But there, even leaning back, as you mentioned, off balance, she was able to get the power.
Impressive there, but the woodwork saving the Roses, and now the corner sent in. It's there, and it's touched just wide. Kaylee Hunter, dangerous in the penalty area. Rowe was there as well, and just wide of the goal.
AFC Toronto buzzing now. Good service from Victoria Pickett that swung in. And I think that was Lauren Rowe who had a crack at that one and just whiffed. Still managed to put it awfully close to that right post, though, that second post with their left foot.
trying to play this past Rollins. D'Angelo will give to Barnett. Stratigatkis. Play back to Pickett. Now Katembo starts in 2 of her last 3 games. Been becoming more involved for AFC Toronto.
The Roses chasing shadows right now in the middle of the park, completely dominated by AFC Toronto.
Certainly been a different feel in this match over the last 10 or so minutes where AFC Toronto's really started to grab hold of this game.
Yeah, the beginning of the game was very much a front-footed Montreal Rose team with a lot to prove, trying to get that new manager bounce and a response immediately, and they were unable to convert, and then AFC Toronto just had to ride it out, and they've had the better spells of possession, and they've looked the more dangerous side.
Last year's top team in the regular season as the Shield winners and also the finalists, the runners-up. Looking to go back to work. Touched on by Katembo into row. Sauvé, good touch, goes for another corner, the second here of the half.
Have good defending by Sauvé, read that all the way, but Sarah Stratigakis is causing loads of problems right now for the Montreal Roses. She's pulling off that back line. Seta was unsure of whether to stay or to go, and she's able to turn and has acres of space to influence the play.
Looked dangerous after the first corner. I'll try from the other side. A couple of words from the head referee. Now Barnett with that dangerous left boot. Put this in. Once again, great service. Punched away by the keeper. Now we'll go out for a goal kick.
Smart service. I think you test Karpenko. She's shown that she's up to the task, but you have some targets in there, notably Sarah Rollins, who got her first off of a corner kick. And you're looking for Rollins again there, just taking a couple steps away from that goal line to try to knot it back.
Quickly played back into the penalty area, and Karpenko, what a save again. Another terrific opportunity. Hunter was in deep. That came right back at the Roses.
It's a smart little touch to send Kaylee Hunter in, but so clever and such great instincts by Anna Karpenko. She plays on the edge, and sometimes there can be a howler where she's too far off her line, but she's really tightened that up this year. Lots of lessons in year one, and she bravely charges off her line and doesn't give Kaylee Hunter a ton of the net to work with. Makes herself big and comes up with the save yet again.
That's 2 big saves off of the 18-year-old who's been a terrific goal scorer in both NSL seasons. Montreal still have not had a lot of solutions here over the last quarter of an hour.
They've just been chasing a little bit, trying to figure out the overload in the middle of the park, and they're going to try to solve it again through possession, and to no one's surprise, they go back to that right-hand side, which has been clicking.
Paczerski on the ball to Whitaker. Minas looking for Paczerski, just too far for Bennett and Paczerski. And back into Hunter. Push from Bilbo.
And just advancing, gaining a little bit more territory. That's where Montreal found some joy early on that counter press. If they were sloppy, they turned it over. They were able to win it back immediately or within 4 or 5 seconds. And there's just a swap there, Matt, maybe just a little detail and as a result of the play, but you saw Whitaker and Pachurski swap positions, give Pachurski a bit more of a runway to attack.
Keep an eye on that. Strategakis and Colby Barnett working down this far flank. That was given towards Montreal. Head referee Anne-Marie Canuel, 25 years old, from just north of Montreal. Only her 6th appearance of the season. Alyssa Snedden and Alicia Carlucci. Nava Ranjabi, the officiating team today at BMO Field. Too far for Seto. And this could be an opportunity here for AFC Toronto. Rowe, Small, and Hunter. Now Katie Hunter in, looking for another attempt, and good defending from Sauvé.
That'll be a throw. I thought that might sneak out for another corner. But that was all possible because of the early first-time ball by Colby Barnett.
This is Chisholm now. AFC Toronto will organize itself. Zadorsky, ball is up. Not far off of Lauren Rowe.
This is where AFC Toronto could take a little bit of a lesson from the Montreal Roses. They've got numbers, they're in control, but they're hesitant. They're not going in where they're connected, and they could easily send players and apply effective pressure.
Tembo, good touch again. Opens this up for Hunter. Now Victoria Pickett will stride forward. You're watching the NSL presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. Third and final match here of this match week. Getting into single digits now with games remaining. Both these teams will have 9 to go in the regular season following this afternoon. Some of the races, both for the Shield and for the playoffs, starting to heat up. We are in mid-August. Back to school, right around the corner.
It's too fast.
Kids won't like me saying that one.
I still
Parents,
get those
parents will though.
Well, yes and no. I still get those little butterflies in my stomach, you know, around mid-August, thinking, oh my gosh, it's coming. I don't even have to go to school anymore.
Well, anytime the CNE rolls around Toronto, you know that the days are numbered. See the Ferris wheel on some of the shots in the background here at BMO Field. But on the bright side, that's where really the footballing season really starts to heat up.
There you go. That's where things start to matter.
Bennett's just out of her reach. Likes the ball, just couldn't quite get on the end of it. Energetic crowd here at BMO Field. The 30th minute. A couple of big Anna Karpenko saves and a bit of help from the woodwork so far has been the story through half an hour, Amy, and those are the reasons why AFC Toronto's not at multiple goals, really.
Yeah, full credit to the goalkeeping for the Roses and Anna Karpenko, but Marko Milanovic was talking about his team's ability to chance create and how they frequently, they don't outperform their XG, but they usually have a higher XG than their opponent. So you can clearly see that through the first half an hour, but now it's, can they be more ruthless? Can they be more punishing when they're in the box?
And Montreal, who lead the Northern Super League with total shots so far, just have 2 and 1 on target. And that's what everyone's going for this year. The NSL Championship Final, recent announcement, be in Ottawa this year at TD Place on November the 14th. Who will lift the Diana B. Matheson Cup in year 2?
Looking forward to that. TD Place, Lansdowne Park, great sporting city. Year 2 of NSL Final, looking forward to it. Who will it be?
That's the big question. Other question is, what will the weather be like? Little mid-November snowstorm.
Yeah.
Not
We don't wanna
out
see
of the
that again.
ordinary
Yeah.
in Ottawa. Certainly made for some memorable moments in the past. Here's Pachurski, good attacking from Montreal. Pachurski, D'Angelo the save of the ball into the top netting. And there's Lisa Pachurski. She can bring that danger. And Montreal will perhaps be wanting that lead after this great opportunity.
And that's Charlotte Bidbo releasing Pachurski into space, and she desperately wants to cut that inside and try to get her right foot on it, but the defender doesn't give it to her, but she still is able to test D'Angelo.
D'Angelo just able to get that one over the bar. First corner of the match for the Roses. Struck on, back post, and just overhit. Got a full dose of that from the microphone.
No, he did.
Great microphone placement from the team. Heard every bit of that corner.
Brought us right to BMO, right in there. Everybody at home too.
Nothing overly threatening from the set piece there, and that was one of the real downfalls for the Roses in the midweek match against Simcoe County. Just were not able to convert on set pieces.
Well, they lacked incisiveness for sure in that final third. They seemed to run out of ideas. You saw Laurie Thibault come on as a substitute, not necessarily somebody you would think that could spark the attack, but just seemed to have a creative mind and think about going forward, trying to find solutions, and everybody else is waiting for somebody else to do it for them.
And Katembo, that's good pressure from Nyota Katembo, making her presence felt. Ball quickly played to the edge of the penalty area. This time Small. Who's maybe
Goals over Alidu.
given a final warning. Will collect herself. Small also does have to be careful, has 4 yellow cards on the season, and 1 more would be a yellow card accumulation suspension.
Good shielding of the ball there by Mimi Alidu, and Nikki Small's just trying to keep the Roses pinned in their own end, but finds herself on the wrong side of the ball and has to go through the player in order to get to the ball.
A little bit of a boot issue for the Canadian women's national team midfielder, Alidu. Pachurski, Zadorsky right on her. All ahead. Looking at Bennett from Alidu. One back by AFC Toronto.
And as that focal point in the Roses attack, Elise Bennett's done wonderfully well. She's on 8 goals, just 1 behind Jess DeFilippo, as you mentioned off the top, Matt, but there the decision making needs to scan, needs to check her shoulder and simply turn, and then you're facing the back line and can run at them.
Speaking of running right at them, Lauren Rose got the idea. tries to push this ball through, and it's just out of the reach, defended well again by Capadona and the Roses. Small, good touch forward, Rowe. One back by Minas. Joey Minas will finally open up into some space. Boychuk, the Montreal captain. With 10 minutes to go before first half stoppage time. Which runs right into the teeth of the AFC Toronto defense there.
Yeah, but speaking of teeth, part of the problem and why Rossitoyu got sacked is it's been a toothless attack. And you saw it there, just the wrong decision by Boychuk. Just put your foot in the ball, you've got numbers over there, recycle the ball, try again. Figure something out with how you're going to progress the ball and try to manipulate the opponent a little bit.
Pressure here from Montreal. Zdorsky. Ball into the middle, looking at Hunter. Now Boychuk plays back to Seto.
Got some composure on that back line for AFC Toronto, so the Roses are trying to apply. They've got a higher line of confrontation, a more aggressive press, but especially in Zdorsky and Pickett, you've got a pretty press-resistant back line there, able to escape that pressure.
All glancing off of Boychuk's hand there. Zdorsky for the free kick. Scored from the penalty spot in the 2-2 draw in Ottawa as Kaylee Hunter, the usual penalty taker, had been subbed out already. Pretty good finish from the defender.
Brilliant. Like to see her do that wearing a Canadian kit. But a couple of defenders being called upon recently. Jaleesa Harris, another.
Yeah.
Very similar technique. Low, precise, powerful.
Yeah, hard.
I like
right,
it.
Yeah, right into the bottom corner. Zdorsky does have 8 goals for Canada. To go back and look a little further at the books there, but a lot of them from set pieces, from headers.
Yeah, usually headers.
119 caps for Zdorsky. Big addition for AFC Toronto, along with Sabrina D'Angelo and others. And AFC Toronto has not lost since that duo has arrived.
And that's part of the reason why Milanovic is saying, like, Nikki Small was insulating that back line before it was set. They had a lot of injuries, there's a lot of flux, so you bring in the likes of Zdorsky, you get Pickett back off that injury list. You've seen stellar play by the young Sarah Rollins, whose composure and experience belies her years, so then it affords you the luxury of pushing Nikki Small further up the pitch. And of course, the experience and the class of Sabrina D'Angelo.
There's a header off the woodwork again, and that somehow stays out. No sign from the referee, looking at the assistants.
Hunter claiming that that went over the line. We'll have to get another look at it.
No indication from the referee, and here's another look.
Great ball by Pickett. Win by Rowe, and Karpenko just gets a hand to it, and it's Hunter on the follow-through, hits it off that same post.
Did Karpenko get a touch here on the second chance?
She gets a big paw on that one. Oh,
that's
she's maybe got a case.
That looks a little bit different from that angle. It would be very difficult to have conclusive evidence, though. But it's a save from Karpenko, who may have been behind the line.
It's tough to tell, certainly from that angle in behind. It favors the attacker because you, of course, can't see the angle right along the goal line, and the entirety of the ball would have to be across that line.
And no help from a video room, VAR, or what the officials say, well, that goes. So Montreal, though, very close to once again giving up the first goal. Here's another look.
Another look at it here as it comes across. That's the initial header from Rowe. And I mean, listen, you've got most of the body of Karpenko behind that line, but she comes to meet it with her hand. It's very difficult, as you mentioned, Matt, to have that conclusive evidence to say the referee didn't call it a goal in the run of play, to somehow reverse that. I don't see that happening, unfortunately. It's not enough there.
Even with all the technology in the world, that would have been very difficult to...
You need the chip in the ball to be able to, you know,
even
buzz.
that one, you know.
Well, oh, I know. Or the conclusive touches. We've talked about this, right?
Yeah, we have, you know. Who knows?
Yeah, you wade into murky waters at that point.
What we do know is Karpenko has been brilliant here in the first half for the Roses. That was even the first save, a great touch, and get a bit of help from the woodwork.
And even if there is a little bit of luck involved, you make your own luck, and you're only going to see her grow in confidence because she's able to get there. She's contributing to those saves. She's not been beaten cleanly, and then it hitting the woodwork. But that's 3 occasions, if I'm not mistaken, that AFC Toronto now have come very, very close, but not been rewarded for their efforts.
Montreal try and use some of the fine goalkeeping to grab a lead here at BMO Field. Boychuk down the right side. He's got a bit of the hit of Barnett. It has been a frustrating half attacking for Montreal. Had the one, maybe 2 good opportunities.
Now you had the shot from Whitaker just outside the box in the opening minutes, and then you had the more recent chance with Lisa Paczurski going 1v1 and testing D'Angelo, but that's as close as they've gotten. And they haven't come as close to showing the same offensive thrust or fluidity that they showed in the early minutes of this contest. Since then, it's been AFC Toronto been very dominant.
Rowe back in possession. Small into the middle. Great run from the captain, Nikki Small. Takes a deflection. And AFC Toronto wondering if there was a handball somewhere in the mix.
Such a silky player. Is able to evade the pressure, find those little seams, slices and dices between the Roses.
Minas, Bilbo. Over hits on the pass. Sauvé will just take this into touch. Well, AFC Toronto has certainly been on the front foot here in this first half. Not been rewarded.
Great little touch by Katembo there to just give herself a couple more seconds, a little bit more space to make a play. Done very well on this right-hand side.
There we go. There's the Ferris wheel in the background. I knew it was there somewhere.
It's like a built-in little rainbow at that end of the field.
You bet. Montreal also has a pretty good one too. La Ronde.
That's right.
If I got my names right.
No, you're absolutely right.
All right. Never had the chance though. Neither one actually.
Go.
Not a big Ferris wheel guy, I guess. It's been a while.
Well, the amusement park is La Ronde.
Okay. Tells you how much I'm up to date on my amusement parks. Rose is back in possession. Ali too. Just tries to spin this forward. Zadorski there. Gatkus. For Zadorski again. Ball played forward to Small. Had to play that ball through right into the back line, though. Paczerski. Putting up for Whitaker. Katie Whitaker. Striding towards the penalty area. She steps over once. Has some company, though, on Nikki Small. That's what she does best and wins the foul.
So patient, picking her spots. Whitaker, I think, was hoping for an overlap. It came in Mimi Alidu, but she was unable to release her, and then Nikki Small pounced, won the ball. It's the reason why she's the league leader in tackles, but also it's the recoveries, it's the defensive actions, and then what she does with the ball. They're either drawing the foul or starting the attack.
Just the 1 minute of stoppage time here at the end of the first half. AFC Toronto with a handful of chances, 8 attempts, officially 4 on target. At the last check, Karpenko has been brilliant. Foul given there. Now there will be. Bow and Small tangled up. So there will be one last set piece here before the end of the first half.
We saw the last time they had a set piece from that area there. Pickett provided a very dangerous ball, and again here, great work from Nikki Small to be able to win the foul.
So once again, Pickett ready to put this into the penalty area here. Last chance here in this first half. Bounces to the top of the penalty area. Sent away. And that is the end of the first half. So a couple of chances for Kaylee Hunter, but Anna Karpenko brilliant in the first 45 minutes. And we are goalless along the lakeshore in downtown Toronto. Halftime is next.
Oh my God, what is that? See, again, I think I do have to do a little hip mobility and some knee mobility for this one.
Oh, my pull groin. Choose 2 candies that you want, and then the 2 pictures that are under are the poses you'll have to do.
Okay.
There you go. Yep.
Wait, I don't know if wow. Okay, yeah, easy.
That's
so
one of 2.
Oh, okay, I can choose which one
Oh,
I do?
no, you're doing both.
okay.
I want this one. Oh my God, what is that? Like, what even is that? Okay, girl.
Oh, wow. That's something. Really good one. I don't know if my body is gonna be able to do that. Oh, wow.
So this is the second one.
Honestly, I need to do a little mobility warm up for this, guys.
Where is she putting that arm?
What the actual heck is she doing?
Like this, and then no way. No way, guys.
This, so like this is this hand.
It's taking a lot of figuring out to do.
A contract in modeling after this?
Wait, this is
Oh, yeah.
trippy.
Exactly.
And Sour Patch Kids naturally. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Wow. So this is the pose.
Okay, this
I got-
one, you just moved from a bullet. Yes!
Okay, and give face to the camera.
Oh, yes.
Take one. Oh, my pull groin.
Like, kind of make it look like it's broken a little bit. But yes!
I'm feeling pretty good about this. Oh, yes! Okay. This is what's up.
I feel like I probably practiced this when I was a child watching America's Next Top Model, so.
Oh, I'm nervous to see what this is. Oh, you're joking. Do I have to hit it now?
And then I want these. What is this? Where'd you find these pictures? Is she like biting her finger? Like a little bit more relaxed. I can't. Like you can't relax.
I feel my ankle really working.
Insert yes face.
Pensive face.
We are so glad you're here. Kate McKenna, Aaron McLeod with you. We're here to watch the match with you and give you a ton of insight, analysis that you might not get anywhere else, and we're going to have a ton of fun along the way.
Do you treat your young players different than your more senior veteran players?
My pal Kelsey Mitchell, familiar with Alberta weather, multi-sport Olympian. This is a question for Aaron. Will you bring the 2002 Mohawk back?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Color and everything. Come on, subscribers, let's go.
Make it happen. Welcome to the NSL Halftime Show presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. Scoreless at the half between the Roses and AFC Toronto as we look at the stats. Toronto had multiple chances, couldn't capitalize. Possession is nearly split, but Toronto leads in shots and shots on target. Kaylee Hunter responsible for many of them. She had 4 shots in that half, 3 on target, and she's standing by with Camila Gonzalez.
Kaylee, a few big chances for you in that first half, and of course we have to talk about that moment near the end of the first half where there was a lot of debate whether or not that went over the line. Can you talk us through some of those moments for us?
Yeah, I think the team's been doing well. We've been putting lots of pressure on them and developing chances, and now it's just a matter of time before they start going. We just got to keep working and, yeah, just come out hard the second half.
And heading into that second half, there's so much talk about finally getting those 3 points at home. How much are you thinking about that, and what's your approach to convert in that final third?
Yeah, that's our biggest goal right now is to just get a couple in the back of the net and then get 3 points at home. So we're just going to keep on working to do that for the fans.
Amazing. Thanks, Kaylee. Thanks.
Kaylee Hunter, undoubtedly an important piece of this Toronto team, but so is Colby Barnett. In fact, Marko Milanovic says she's one of the most important players on his squad, and we got a taste of her skill when she hammered a shot off the crossbar. It was our Intact Insurance move of the half. And Amy, this was a tricky shot to execute, wasn't it?
It was. It's not an easy skill at all. I think you see a player like Barnett, you see her get up and down the line, whip in balls with her left foot, but here she's cutting across the goal as she's moving away from the goal. So by the time she unleashes this shot, she's right on the edge of the 18, and it's a good position, good technique to wrap your foot around it and to bend it for a curling shot. But she put some power behind this one, Kate, and Karpenko had to be lively, cat-like, and she's been up to the task certainly, but that is one that I think Barnett, when it left her foot, she thought that was in the back of the net.
It's a perfect segue, you bringing up Karpenko. She was cat-like, she was lively all game long. She has a history of showing up against Toronto, and she did that in the first half. 2 massive saves on Hunter.
I think she steps off that Roses team bus and she grows like 3 inches.
She
whenever
says,
she
"I'm home."
shows up. Yeah, she's like, I'm here. Like, this is where I do my best work. And from jump, she was playing out of her mind and causing problems and frustrating AFC Toronto, and notably Kaylee Hunter. But she's going to keep pushing, she's going to keep digging, but it's not only Hunter, but it's the play of Lauren Rose, been really dynamic herself, but it's AFC Toronto led by these two leading the line that are playing the aggressors, that have imposed themselves on the game, because Montreal started really brightly, but it's Karpenko at this point, as that whistle was blown to end the first half, that's keeping the Roses in this match.
Toronto maybe thinks they should be up 1-0. At least Kaylee Hunter thinks so. We don't have VAR in the NSL. Let's take a look at this no goal late in the game that Toronto believes perhaps should have been a goal. What do you make of this? Was this a goal, Amy?
Listen, it's murky waters once you get into VAR and you get into the chips in the ball. Was there a touch? But you have to give full credit to Karpenko here, because twice, so it's this great header back across the face of goal by Rowe, and she's able to intervene again off the rebound. So it's the footwork, it's the aggression, it's the reflexive ability, and there, freeze frame, we're well behind the goal. We're not along that goal line. So I think the goalkeeper, she extends the arm, stops that ball, but the entirety of the ball has to cross the line. I think that was the right call, even though AFC Toronto would love to have a review if one was in place.
And what did you say on the call? You make your own luck?
Absolutely, and that's what Karpenko is doing right now.
Well, Karpenko may be impressing someone critically important in this country in Casey Stoney, because she is in the stands this afternoon watching all the action, and we'll hear from her next.
Okay, team, big game today, but you know what? It's just a game. And you know what? You're gonna go out there and you're gonna have fun, because the most important thing is to have fun, enjoy yourself, and at the end of the day, it's just a game. So go out there and get the win.
Listen up, guys. Why do we play soccer? To win. Doesn't look like you guys want to win right now. Put the work in, work hard, run, fight for each other, and let's go out there and win. Let's go show them how to do it.
Just relax out there, trust in your abilities. Everything's gonna go great. I believe in you.
We just need to get it together. We need to go out there, do your jobs, and let's get this done.
Okay, team, short and sweet. It's a big game. I want you guys to have fun. That's obviously the most important thing. You're doing this because you love it. We want to win, but obviously that comes with being together as a team, playing for yourselves, playing for your teammates, playing for your coaches, your family. Just enjoy the moment, give it your best, be happy with it at the end of the day, and
For the big, small, short, tall. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For refreshing moments. Shared together.
Welcome back. Our Canadian women's national team is entering a pivotal stretch leading up to the Women's World Cup next summer in Brazil. Let's hear now from the woman leading that squad, Casey Stoney. She's pitch side with Camila Gonzalez.
Well, Casey, we're here in the second year of the Northern Super League. Can you just talk to me about your perspective, the difference in this league between year one and now heading into year two?
We've seen huge growth, especially with the recruitment through the teams. You look at Halifax now and the improvements that they've made, and you know how competitive the league is, and there's been some shifts in the positioning. Obviously Ottawa leading now, so I think it just shows how competitive it is. There's more players coming into the league. You know, you look today, Shalina, Sabrina being here, you know, performing well, Mimi being here for Montreal, players that, you know, represent Canada playing at home. It's a great opportunity for them too.
And some of those players that you mentioned, did you have a conversation with Sabrina, with Shalina about their decision to make the move here, and what does it say about the league as a whole for them to be here?
Yeah, all three of them reached out to me. We had in-depth conversations and very much about what's right for the players. You know, if it means getting some consistent playing time, playing minutes, playing competitive, then and environments where they're happy and they're feeling good, I think they've all said they've made the right move for themselves.
Development is so important. I'm curious, is there anyone in this league that hasn't been called up to the senior team yet that maybe has caught your eye or you have your eye on?
I think we're always looking. You know, we're watching every game, we're monitoring closely. It's hard to get into the team because it's so talented, but the door's always open.
And of course, this was home to the Men's World Cup. It was also home to, you know, the 2015 Women's World Cup, Canada being a host country. How important are these tournaments for the growth of the sport within this country, and have you seen a difference?
Well, yeah, listen, I was lucky to work on the Men's World Cup this year, and I think what the men's team did is they captured the hearts of the nation. They inspired many more fans, many more young players to play the game. We will have a game here in October too, so it's great to be able to be back at home, on home soil, in front of our home fans and playing again.
And talking about that October window, what are your priorities? Where do you see this Canadian women's team going?
Well, it's a really competitive window. Obviously playing a European team like Denmark, they're a top team. It gives us an opportunity to play a European team at home, which doesn't happen that often. We're obviously preparing for qualifiers. That's our priority, is to make sure that we are in a good space going into November to qualify for the World Cup.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Casey, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Camila. Young fans enjoying the sunshine and a little soccer this afternoon in Toronto. The home side hasn't scored yet, but they'll be looking to lock down their first win at BMO Field in the second half.
On profite de la visibilité qu'on a pour pouvoir célébrer ce genre d'événement-là. C'est sûr que c'est le fun de pouvoir faire partie d'un projet qui supporte ces communautés-là. Je pense que ça va être rempli de couleurs, de bienveillance, de bonheur, comme à tous les autres matchs, mais celui-là, ça va être particulier. Ça va être un match spécial où on espère qu'il y aura du monde, mais en tout cas, c'est les valeurs qu'on essaie de véhiculer au quotidien, d'être dans le partage, d'être dans la proximité avec les partisans, parce que on est des humains comme tout le monde. Oui, on joue au soccer, mais on est vraiment accessible et on donne aussi des exemples pour les petites filles de demain et on espère que ce sera un très bon jour. Ça fait partie de la culture ici.
Welcome back to BMO Field in Toronto, where it's 0-0 between the Montreal Roses and AFC Toronto. One half in the books. Certainly some positive play from the home side. Some great goalkeeping from Anna Karpenko. That's really the big reason why that this game has yet to see a goal, but 45 to go, Amy.
All to play for as well. I think the Roses will probably look to have a similar bright start as they did to the first half, but they're going to have to claw back here because it was a very dominant half from AFC Toronto when you look at the stats, but just the eye test. It was all AFC Toronto, probably save the first 10 minutes of that opening half. So a lot more work to do for the Roses. Defensively looked sound, but attacking wise, much more solutions need to be found. They have to be a lot more creative and a lot more movement to try to unlock this attacking minded team.
Doesn't look like we'll have any substitutions here at the half. Karpenko with 5 saves in half number 1. Brilliant. Also the woodwork coming into play a couple of times as well. And maybe that's the lucky touch right there, Amy.
That's it. Got to thank your post and your crossbar. Convene with them. Be one with them.
Get to know them.
Yes. I mean, Patrick Roy for the Canadians used to have
Talk
chats.
with them.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
There's something to that, I think, as a goaltender or a goalkeeper. To be at one with your frame, with the woodwork.
You need every bounce you can get. We'll see what the bounces might have in store here. Second half underway. Great to be in the booth with Amy Walsh. My name is Matt Cullen, Kate McKenna in studio, and Camila Gonzalez on the touchline for us here today. As we continue to push into the second half of the Northern Super League season. Just 2 points, as we mentioned off the top, separate these two. Montreal in second, Toronto in a close third right now. So the playoff race got a little bit more interesting as well, with Vancouver coming back to beat Halifax on a brace from Jess DeFilippo. So just 2 points separate 4th and 5th right now. So something we heard from Casey Stoney as well. Just it's a competitive league. Everything in play. And only just cracking into it. Here's Hunter for AFC Toronto. Pickett sending forward and quickly pushed back by the Roses. What do you think the message was in the locker room here for the visitors from Montreal, Amy?
They have to refine that spark and the intent. They had lots of energy, good effort, good work on the counter press, and they seemed to lose that, especially as AFC Toronto got a foothold on the game. So there was very little pushback from the Roses, so I think that was likely addressed by interim head coach and Marie Martel.
Zadorsky. Some pressure, so quickly plays back. 15 touches in the half for Montreal's leading goal scorer, Elise Bennett. How does Montreal get her more involved? Just 1 goal in their last 5 games across all competitions.
I think firstly Montreal has to find some width, and I think Pachurski and Boychuk play a huge role in that, but they need to do that when they're in possession to try to pull apart the shape of AFC Toronto and create more pockets of space for the likes of Pachurski and especially Alidou to operate in. It was a really subpar performance by Alidou, a new signing for them, who should want a way better second half to try to impress Casey Stoney, her women's national team coach, but I think that's part of it. Once you do that, then all of a sudden the clarity with which you can connect with your number 9 in Bennett becomes that much easier, and like the players understand when to find her, when she can hold it up, get numbers forward, really get her much more involved in the play.
3 players from Montreal with under or fewer than 20 touches. Mentioned Bennett, but Boychuk and Minas both on 19, just showing that there's just not a lot working through Montreal's offense right now.
Found a little bit of joy in that right-hand side early on in the game, but then as soon as AFC Toronto were able to solve that, because you really saw it with Montreal, Boychuk, Alidou, and Bennett finding some triangulation, a little bit of interchange, Seto occasionally overlapping, and then that was snuffed out by good defending for AFC Toronto.
Foul there from Capadona. You're watching the NSL presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. So far, AFC Toronto has had the lion's share of the chances and the shots on target. So far, I've not been able to get one past Anna Karpenko, though one was very, very close. Spinning back the replays on multiple angles. Almost tucked in there. This ball much too deep here from the home side. So we talked about Montreal. What about Marko Milanovic? What do you think his message might have been?
I think that just keep going. More of the same. Keep your foot on the accelerator. Don't give them any time to breathe. And you can see this here, how that high line and Kaylee Hunter at the forefront of that, putting pressure on Anna Karpenko.
One of the big changes today for AFC Toronto was without Chloe Uttenberg. Ball in the penalty area, and Karpenko, very good decision making there to come out quickly.
Great athletic goalkeeper, great understanding of her game, or of the game, and also how she relates, especially to that back 3 in Capadona, Sauvé. As she goes to cover, Karpenko's coming out, gathers that ball up, and really puts an end to that attack.
Just circling back, how has AFC Toronto been able to manage its midfielders? Uttenberg suspended for 3 matches, had 4 straight starts prior to today.
I think you're seeing the confidence that he has in a youngster like Olivia Chisholm, who will hopefully, there's the women's competition isn't affected by what's going on with FIFA right now, but Olivia Chisholm and Kaylee Hunter will get a chance to perform for Canada at the U20 Women's World Cup. But, she's had a heck of a year, but big shoes to fill with Emma Regan's departure.
Alidou. Boychuk into the penalty area and just can't quite save it. In for a goal kick.
So back to your question, Matt, I think with Uttenberg on that 3-match ban, it'll mean much more minutes for Chisholm, more meaningful minutes. And we saw her used more heavily at the beginning of the year and then more sparingly recently, but needs must, and she'll be in there. But you can see that midfield ticking along, and Chisholm's at the heart of it.
Ball forward, here's Hunter. Into space, Seto. One-on-one, and it's some solid defense there from Anne-Valerie Seto. Good ball. Forward to Bennett, now Alidou. Boychuk and Alidou. Chersky. Ball had a bit of promise, but just not quite on it with pace.
Just didn't quite have the power, the weight on it to find the feet of Bennett. But that type of movement where you saw the exchange between Bilbao and Alidou and then Bennett check off the back line. As she comes back again, you see Pechersky enter the chat, as it were, and drifts over from that left-hand side. Now that's interesting from the Roses.
This might be interesting here as well. Rowe. Ball for Stratogatkis, and forcing Seto into a deep throw to concede a deep throw. Barnett. Lauren Rowe. Rowe in the right boot, top of the penalty area, neatly knocked away. Alidou once again will try into space. Taken by Bennett. Bennett goes down at the edge of the penalty area. Rollins asking some questions.
And the Roses clamoring, and Bennett leading the charge there to say that it was indeed
And they have
in
won the
18-yard
penalty.
box.
A delayed call from the referee. And the referee walking to the spot. Here it is.
Wonderful ball by Alidou. We talked about needing to find Bennett more, and she does. And it's not intentional by Sarah Rollins, but she clips the heels of Elise Bennett and sends her to the ground and is in the 18-yard box. Concedes the penalty.
The initial contact, though, was outside of the penalty area. And then Bennett falls in. Oh, that's a curious one. The home fans don't love it. Looks like it might be Alidou from the spot, as Bennett missed her last penalty.
So that's Anne-Marie Canuel's assistant referee, who has indicated that they thought it was within the 18-yard box.
Well, the Canadian international Alidou, first time from the spot in the Northern Super League, has a chance to give the visitors a lead. Montreal 2 of 3 from the penalty area. This one, without a doubt, Alidou into the top corner. And Montreal has the lead along the lakeshore in Toronto.
And the fans do not like it. Matt, a wry smile from Sabrina D'Angelo, who's staring at her Canadian women's national team teammate.
Yep.
And Mimi Alidou knows her very well, has probably seen a ton of these in practice. So guesses the wrong way, but that's well converted by Alidou with pace, power, and it's put above the equator of the net there. Very difficult for a goalkeeper to get, even if they do guess the right way.
So Alidou scored in Vancouver for her first, now scores in Toronto for her second. And in front of the eyes of the women's national team coach as well. You were musing, Amy, that she might need a bit of a boost after the first half. Well, maybe there it is. Hunter comes right back, low drive. Karpenko had to go right to the post to make the save.
There's Hunter, the ball just falls to her and escapes the challenge. Looked like cleats up from Seto, but is able to get the shot off.
Ball into the top of the penalty area. AFC Toronto back in possession. So just like back on May the 10th when Montreal was able to eke out a 1-0 win on a late winner from Elise Bennett. Back in front again and making the challenge for AFC Toronto's first win at BMO just a little bit more difficult. Alidou, top of the penalty area again, is once again Montreal threatening. Here's Bennett, ball off of the face of Rollins. Does well to stay into play. Alidou on the follow-up. Good ball from Pickett to send that away. Good head back in again, and that one wide of the target.
And right idea there by Mines to try to get her foot around that and try to find Seto, or to Bennett, excuse me, who was lurking at that back post, but I don't think any of her teammates were expecting it. But again, you asked me the question about connecting with the player leading the line in Elise Bennett, with that number 9, who is such a big body, is that archetypal 9 and focal point of their attack. And much of what they do well when they're firing on all cylinders is they're finding the feet of Bennett.
And now the Roses with the lead. Hunter dragged down, looking for the response, and this time it's waved off, and the home fans will really get on the referees now.
Hunter driving in, she's got that on her right foot, tries to get it past Whitaker. I don't think there's anything in that, Matt. Quite honestly, it's a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. Doesn't get by her, and they both go to the ground.
Well, the officiating team looks that one off on the 59th minute. Rowe just able to keep that in play. Capadona, trusty center back, is there, and now Bilbao. Marko Milanovic has been mentioning over the past couple of weeks for his team to be decisive in the goal-scoring department, needing some finish. Well, next half an hour will be big here for AFC Toronto.
See how the pendulum has swung with, you know, the Roses getting more engaged in the match, more forays forward, but it just takes a moment. And that's what that foul was and that call. And Alidou's able to capitalize, and now you can see a little bit more uncertainty on the behalf of AFC Toronto.
Into the penalty area, taking a deflection off of Setchel. Looks like the first substitution is going to be set to come in. Thibault making her way to the fourth official. So AFC Toronto at home trailing a 0-0 to the Montreal Roses, who would love to win on Maurice Bard-Martel's, I guess we can call it official interim debut. After the big news earlier this week of the coaching change. Foul here is given, and it's Rollins again. So she didn't get a yellow on the penalty, but involved again here.
But it did look initially on that call that led to the penalty being conceded that she was booked, but I think Kenuel thought better of it here as Pechersky looks to cut it back. It's Rollins who takes her legs right out from underneath her.
Dangerous set piece here for the Roses, who have the goal in the 55th minute from Alidou. Alidou will be behind this one. Dangerous spot.
Dangerous spot, and Alidou needs to get this right. She needs to whip it in with some pace. It'll be an in-swinger, but keep it lower.
Just past the hour mark at BMO Field. Can Montreal double its lead? Alidou's ball going for it, it just misses. Narrow escape from AFC Toronto.
A smile from Alidou. I think she was going for this one all day long, with everybody, including D'Angelo, who was at the ready, thinking that she was serving this into some targets in the box. Was looking to curl that in to the far post.
So it's the usual Thibault for Bilbao swap.
Beau for Beau.
Thibault, Beau for Beau, there you go. Leaving with the lead. Maurice Bard-Martel appreciates that from the longtime French midfielder. Awkward challenge there. Play goes on. Stratigatkis looking at Lauren Rowe, running right at the Montreal defense. Rowe, top of the penalty area, right into the arms of awaiting Anna Karpenko.
The opportunities that AFC Toronto have been given and that they've taken in the second half have been more of an individual nature. These little runs, Maisie runs through, whether Hunter or it's Rowe. And Rowe has done so well this season, putting herself in positions where she can exploit the opponent and be dangerous, but she must capitalize. A more dangerous shot to really test a goalkeeper.
A couple of AFC Toronto substitutions on the way here as well. Montreal finding some new confidence here in the second half. Boychuk and Stratigatkis. Boychuk comes out of that tackle. Alidou and Chloe Minas. First touch for Laurie Thibault. Pechersky's ball. Just a little bit too deep for Whitaker. And now a double change coming here for Marko Milanovic. Looks like Zoe Burns and Lena Solano will both be coming in, and the youngster Chisholm coming off. Yota Katemba will also make her way to the touchline after 63 minutes.
So for Burns and Katembo, that's like for like, but you're going a little bit more offensive here, where Small will likely drop back to that holding midfielder position where Chisholm was previously deployed, and Solano will play a more attacking role for AFC to try to get something going.
Burns has been a relatively regular starter for AFC Toronto, and Solano joining partway through the season. Hit the goalpost in Ottawa a week ago. Could have had the winner right after Golan's equalizer. So she'll be hungry to get right back in. Here's Rowe looking at the top of the penalty area where Hunter was there. Taken away at the last second by Seto.
You've seen that partnership really grow and develop between Lauren Rowe and Kaylee Hunter. Looked very, very good.
Touch, there's Solano on the edge of the penalty area. Now Barnett. Solano again, left boot, hard cross. Comes back down, taken by Burns. AFC Toronto getting the substitutes in quickly, though that pass given away. Against the long ball forward, and D'Angelo coming way out. It's her own defender on the clearance. Now Small. More changes on the way, seemingly for the Roses. Foul given here in favor of AFC Toronto. Here's Victoria Pickett with the free kick. It's a good one and headed on, narrowly missing the target again. It's a couple of good opportunities from the boot of Pickett.
Zadorsky was the intended target there. We've seen Pickett look very dangerous on these set pieces. Maybe catches a shoulder there in the challenge.
I haven't seen Felicia Waugh in the team since early May coming in here, so good to see her back. And Amandine Pierre-Louis had her first start for club in the W Canadian Championship. Will come in for the final 25 minutes here. It's a good spot here for the 20-year-old Felicia Waugh. Did have some nice moments last season, but has been dealing with injury this year.
Has been looking to find her footing again, find her rhythm, find that quality. I think she was a surprise last year as a young player, and all the good work that she did. It was more often than not Bidbo and Hess who were deployed in the heart of the midfield for the Roses. But Waugh really shone last year, and I think following her injury, a little bit stop and start and finding that quality again.
Had 7 starts as a 19-year-old last season. Right now the Roses, though, will have to deal with another corner. Third of the match here for AFC Toronto. And they have looked dangerous on set pieces. Lots of movement in the penalty area. Struck on, flicked on, and Pierre-Louis conceding another corner.
And Karpenko won't be thrilled with that, because they've looked dangerous, the AFC Toronto have, on these corners. And that was a well swung in one there. Good pace, it was low, looking to connect with somebody at the near post to flick it on, and it was nearly successful.
Barnett back to the flag. Solano parked right in front of Anna Karpenko. on nicely. Back post for Zadorski, and there's the equalizer. Shalina Zadorski, it's 1-1 in Toronto.
Oh, you love to see it. I don't think there was much that Karpenko could have done there, but we talked about the aerial prowess of Shalina Zadorski with our Canadian women's national team. She'd scored the penalty previously for AFC Toronto last weekend, and tremendous service from Colby Barnett. AFC Toronto are spoiled, and Pickett and Barnett on these dead balls, but what a brilliant finish that was. But tip of the hat to Barnett for putting that on the platter for Zadorski.
Well, hang on a second here. This ball is being placed down in front. Are they calling this back? They are.
No. Nothing going the way of AFC Toronto. Offside is the call?
Now we need to figure that one out. That was a corner kick.
It's a corner kick, and it's pulled out from the goal line, but you also have defenders who are placed along the goal line. I'd be very surprised if offside was the call.
That is a puzzler. So between that and AFC Toronto nearly scoring in the first half on a close play. So that's what they're calling it. It is indeed a confirmed offside.
But I guess they're saying that Solano interferes with Karpenko? Because you could be in an offside position and still score. It's not automatically ruled out.
Well, AFC Toronto with a lot of questions. So Zadorski's second will have to wait. Seto, top or into the penalty area, driven away.
What a touch by Hunter.
Stratigakis, lots of space here for AFC Toronto. Top of the penalty area for a strike, and it's the woodwork again. AFC Toronto putting the ball everywhere except in the back of the goal. And now a free kick as Hunter's taken down. Between that and the other one called back, what can they do?
And this is good work by Capodono, who's just delaying, waiting for help. And Stratigakis says, okay, I'll tee it up. And I think would have had Karpenko beaten there, but again, strikes the crossbar.
To check the woodwork counter, but that's 3 or 4 times, at least 4. Here's a free kick though, and once again AFC Toronto has really looked threatening.
A little bit further out than we've seen Kaylee Hunter have success. She loves these dead balls.
Doing Zadorski having a chat here. National team teammates. As Hunter strikes this one, not particularly close.
No, she's got the quality there. She's got the ability to punish the opponent, but just gets underneath that one. We've seen the game open up, Matt, considerably in the last couple of minutes. So there are more goals in this contest, I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's a fair bet there, Amy. A little under 20 minutes to go. AFC Toronto's got to be scratching his head. How do they not have one or multiple here? Like, it's been all over the nets. But still Montreal leads. Change here for Marco Milanovic as Stratigakis, who just hit the woodwork, comes out. April Lantang, the Ajax, Ontario native, will come in.
Much quieter second half for Sarah Stratigakis, but she still found a way to put her stamp on the game. Found a lot of joy and freedom in that first half, but the Roses tightened things up in the second and really pushed back.
quickly up. Smart play there. Now Alidou and Small. Forced into the pass, but it does come through. Bennett is in through the penalty area, and a save from D'Angelo, and the rebound is scored! Elise Bennett back in the goals, and Montreal has its second. Maurice Bard-Martel loves it, and so does the rest of the side. Bennett just stuck with it.
And locked at 9 for the lead in the Golden Boot race with Jesta Filippo. And that ball from Mimi Alidou looked like it was neither here nor there, but Pechersky's able to send Bennett in. And Rollins is closing her down, is cognizant not to make the foul, and then D'Angelo spills it, and Bennett is all over it. That's what you want out of your striker. Somebody's just hungry to get on those loose balls, pounce, and convert, and she does to double their lead.
Great point as well. Now joining the top of the race on 9 goals. Jessica DeFilippo of Vancouver. And now Montreal, with just over a quarter of an hour to go, lead by 2.
It's fair to say improbably. I mean, full
I was
credit to the
looking
Roses,
for the word.
but still.
If you play this game 10 times, you'd be hard-pressed to find one that bounces the same way as a 2-0 scoreline. But you have to take it if you're Montreal, especially given the recent events. But we're not done. You mentioned you were right on the goals. Colby Barnett on the set piece. This one more routine. Second wave, though, is dangerous. Headed on and right into the arms of Karpenko. And AFC Toronto had a ton of numbers in the penalty area there.
A ton of numbers and a lot more time than I think Shalina Zadorsky thought that she had there. She had Lauren Rowe behind her and time to chest that down and do something a little bit more intricate with it, other than a header that was dealt with easily.
Alidou's ball, looking for the recent goal scorer, Bennett. Has been involved here in the second half. Created the penalty that led to the Alidou goal, and then in for her 9th of the season.
Not without controversy, though. That Hunter finish in the first half, did it or did it not cross the line? Looks like it doesn't.
Was
then
the penalty in or outside the box?
This is the thing.
Ball splicing through. Karpenko again will try and slow the pace. Yeah, no shortage of drama today. No doubt about that.
And then the third is the Zadorsky goal pulled back. It's all happening, man.
Yeah, it is all happening. Setso with a glaring look there. She goes over.
Just getting her wits about her, taking a couple of deep breaths. Just put in a shift today for the Roses.
Rollins back to D'Angelo. That ball also took a wicked spin after the D'Angelo save. Bounced right back towards Bennett.
Yeah, very difficult to deal with if you're the goalkeeper in that instance. But little tactical tweak by Maurice Bard-Martel is part of the reason I think the Roses found their footing in this game. A little bit flatter in their lines, and they found more width. They were able to find the feet of Bennett, and then they found the support going forward and got Pechersky more involved as well. And AFC Toronto didn't quite know how to adapt to that.
Small, pushing forward. To the the top of the penalty area there. Once again, Montreal defending. Zadorsky right to the back of Alidou.
You can see the difference, though, that Lucy Capadona makes upon her return, the way that she marshals that back line, the control that they have.
Alidou was hoping for a stretch there. Kaylee Hunter had other ideas. Zadorsky seeming less than impressed. Might be still fuming about the goal that was called back.
This is part of it, though, as we mentioned, lots of time still left. But 11 and a half minutes of normal time. If my math is correct, yes.
Oh yeah.
So
Never a doubt,
still
Amy.
lots of time if AFC Toronto are able to get one back and they cut that deficit in half. And there's a lot that can change, but a lot depends on the mental state of AFC Toronto to not feel defeatist, to say we still have a chance at this thing. We were the protagonists earlier, so what's our response going to be?
This one rolls into a goal kick. Well, there usually is some sort of drama when Montreal and Toronto meet. Across the board, multiple sports, take your pick.
That's right.
We've had a fair share of drama here today, and like you mentioned, not done. Far from done. Looking for Hunter here. Hunter into the penalty area. Hunter into the arms of Karpenko. Oh my, hands to her face. Kaylee Hunter cannot believe it.
And that was a win by Colby Barnett off of the restart. And that was it. That was the lifeline. That was their way back, Matt. It goes right into the arms of Karpenko.
Looks like it might have glanced off of her forearm there as well on the way down to her boots. They call it the beautiful game. Sometimes it could be a cruel game, and for AFC Toronto just have not had the bounces today. Had all kinds of opportunities. Montreal 10 minutes away from a big 3 points. Pierre-Louis looking to become involved here. Amandine Pierre-Louis, the Haitian international. All into the top of the penalty area, was well guarded there. Coach Lasso is back, you better believe it. The new season is available now. New adventures for Coach Lasso, never a dull moment, Amy.
Love the show. Been binge watching it with my kids, so we're all caught up with the new season.
All caught up. Good, good, good.
And the press has got to be on here for AFC Toronto to try to turn this ball over.
There's Boychuk. 10 coming up quickly. Hunter there. Good work from Boychuk. Referee waves that off quickly. Once again up into space, and Hunter running onto the ball again, right at Capadona. Has it twisting around, but Lucy Capadona, what a block, what a tackle.
We were just bigging her up recently, the difference that she makes anchoring that back line, and what a critical intervention this is. You got Hunter who turns her around and then lunges in with her back to her, makes an important stop before it even reaches Karpenko.
Looked like the center back might be in some trouble. More AFC Toronto attacking here. This is Solano. Hands off to Lantain. And Solano will take this deep, crosses in. Sent away quickly by Montreal. change here for AFC Toronto. Couple of changes on each side here. Mia Fontana into the match. 10th appearance of the season. Paquin is also set to come in. Again, might not be done with the changes yet. Bennett plays this ball in. Pechersky, 2-on-3 here. Montreal doesn't have time. Lots of space. Alidou is striking and Pickett well positioned. To win the ball, and once again, Thibault win this back.
Fontana, you're just subbed in. You need to bring energy, fresh legs. You can't give the ball away in that instance. You must conserve possession.
Boychuk crosses with Pechersky. Tanya Boychuk, left boot, challenged by Zadorsky and one back. Pass forcing Zoe Burns, though, into her far corner. Chip forward. Barnett looking again at Kaylee Hunter. Hunter takes a couple of touches, goes in, and another deflection. Capodono again. Great positioning and gets a big tap from the goalkeeper.
Couple of massive blocks here, back to back by Lucy Capadonna. Seto gets a foot in, but Hunter's able to walk around her. Just can't find a way to beat Karpenko today.
It's been Karpenko with a little help from her friends all across the board. Here's the corner. Pickett strikes this one high and hard, headed back on, but in behind already from Zadorsky.
And frustrated with that service, and that's the first wayward one in defense of Pickett. She swung in some real quality balls from the corner today and also from dead balls and set pieces elsewhere on the pitch.
So now the change for Paquin. Pechersky certainly had a livelier second half. Even
that
with
was
a 2-0 lead.
Sorry, Matt. I think that was part of the reason why they made the tweaks to push her up on that front line, got her much more involved.
Paquin with Elise Bennett. Bennett will take this to the flag. Bumper two from Zadorsky. Bennett comes away from that. And this one in for a goal kick.
Good step in there by Lantang, and they're able to reset and restart with D'Angelo, but you got to go fast here, show some urgency.
Two second-half Montreal goals. Alidou from the spot, and Elise Bennett off of a rebound. And a whole lot in between as well. Some good goalkeeping, particularly in the first half from Anna Karpenko. Kenyon giving the countdown here. Set to wait until the very last second. 88th minute. Waugh going through the back of Nikki Small, so the foul given. Good ball forward, it's Hunter again. Some dangerous areas here in the second half, but some more good emergency defending from the Roses. Zadorsky going long. Montreal waiting for that. Ali do.
Perfectly timed by Sauvé there, who hasn't been involved a ton. And I think I'd prefer her higher up the pitch, but she's done so well leading by example, that experience on the left side of that back three for the Roses.
Solano whistled on the foul here. Looks like Mimi Alidu has some questions for Lena Solano.
Trying to hide her smile as well there.
What's said on the pitch remains on the pitch, I guess.
Yeah.
Alidu didn't love the tackle, and then the fact that Solano tried to help her right up.
No, and I think she didn't love the arm, the kind of swim move to pull her shoulder back.
'90th minutes. AFC Toronto are trying to find some stoppage time magic. But we'll need a lot in a short amount of time. Lantane, though, does very well here. Played back. Fontana lifts this ball in, but not enough behind it.
You're gonna take that touch back to your left foot, then it's gotta be whipped into the far post, because you're not gonna beat Karpenko from there. A great bit of work by Lantane to get by, and that just has to be pulled out a little bit, or it needs to be shot, and shot with some power.
Looking at 4 minutes of stoppage time here. The confirmation, so Montreal, days after making a significant change in the coaching staff, a few minutes away from a big and what could be a big confidence building win for a team that struggled over the last couple of weeks.
And a bright start underneath a coach they know very well, but want desperately to do good things for, and to really get things right in the second half of the season, or latter third.
Small striking from distance, over top of the bar again.
We talked about getting Nikki Small further up the pitch. Just gets under this ball, but types of tries that you need if you're AFC Toronto. Just any little bit of half space, little area that you can exploit, try to take to your advantage and test Karpenko. To the Roses' credit, they've kept AFC Toronto peripheral for much of the second half, aside from the set pieces.
Hunter wins the ball back. AFC Toronto, though, needs something very quickly. Up into space for Solano. Numbers again, flooding the penalty area, but Montreal backtracking in for a corner. Struck on, back post, headed on, and somehow into the arms of Karpenko. Flicked on, back into the penalty area, and it rattled around in front.
I think the look on Kaylee Hunter's face right now mirrors much of the fans at BMO Field. Just can't believe it. Time after time, that takes a little bit of a deflection, takes a little bit of the pace off of the ball, makes it even easier for Karpenko to gobble up.
That one hit Fontana on the side of the shoulder. Just took every bit of pace off it.
Took the sting right off of it. Didn't have a chance after that. Karpenko had a clear line of sight to it coming into her.
Maryse Bard-Martel, moments away from her first NSL victory. Had a draw and a defeat in her previous 2 matches on the touchline, while Albert Rosatoyu, the previous head coach, was away. And they've somehow managed to conjure up a second half and a couple of goals. Bennett in on both of them. Alidu. Sent away. These two teams will meet one more time in September in Laval in the regular season. Might be on a collision course for another playoff meeting as well, who knows. Sent in again by AFC Toronto. Montreal numbers defensively. Zadorsky and Bennett getting a little chippy here.
And that's some frustration bubbling over by Shalina Zadorsky. Had a goal refused early on and
would have tied the match.
Yep. Completely different game state at that point.
Bennett scoring not long after the equalizer was taken off the board for offside. And that is full time from BMO Field, days after making a big coaching change. Maurice Bard-Martel's Roses come into Toronto and pick up a big 2-0 win.
Talk about changing your fortunes and making your own luck. They were the benefit of some good luck and some fantastic goalkeeping by Anna Karpenko when the first half was all AFC Toronto. A couple of controversial calls, a penalty, a goal called back, but it was not to be. And the curse, Matt, is not broken for AFC Toronto, who failed to win yet again at BMO Field.
6 straight for AFC Toronto without a win at BMO Field. 5 of them being dealt in defeat. Montreal winning on Maurice Bard-Martel's debut as the interim manager. Amy, Kate, and Camilla will wrap it up. Lots of drama on the Lakeshore today.
Okay, team, big game today, but you know what? It's just a game. And you know what? You're gonna go out there and you're gonna have fun, because the most important thing is to have fun, enjoy yourself, and at the end of the day, it's just a game. So go out there and get the win.
Listen up, guys. Why do we play soccer? To win. Doesn't look like you guys want to win right now. Put the work in, work hard, run, fight for each other, and let's go out there and win. Let's go show them how to do it.
Just relax out there, trust in your abilities. Everything's gonna go great. I believe in you.
We just need to get it together. We need to go out there, do your jobs, and let's get this done. Okay, team, short and sweet. It's a big game. I want you guys to have fun. That's obviously the most important thing. You're doing this because you love it. We want to win, but obviously that comes with being together as a team, playing for yourselves, playing for your teammates, playing for your coaches, your family. Just enjoy the moment, give it your best, be happy with it at the end of the day, and
For the big, small, short, tall. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For refreshing moments. Shared together.
This Northern Super League match is brought to you by Toyota, proud founding partner of the NSL. And Canadian Tire, proud founding partner of the NSL. Welcome back to the NSL on TSN. A despondent Kaylee Hunter there. She did absolutely everything she could today. She couldn't buy a goal. Certainly a disappointing result for Toronto, but credit to the Montreal Roses. They were absolutely the lesser of the two teams in the first half, but they came alive in the second half, converted when it mattered. And the stats here really do tell the story. Toronto with significantly more shots on target, but at the end of the day, as we all know, neither of those numbers gets you 3 points. Kate McKenna, Amy Walsh, back here with you in studio after what was a dramatic second half. And let's go through some of these goals, starting with the opening goal of the match, a Mimi Alidou PK. But I want to start with the foul on Elise Bennett, Amy. Was this the right call? Take us through this.
Yeah, looking at it on the call in live, I thought that it was in the box. And I think it's clearly the assistant referee who flags Anne-Marie Canuel to say, because I think Canuel on the pitch as the official is calling that a free kick. So I think the infraction is outside of the box, but then the fall by Bennett appears to be is obviously in the box. So there's a confusion there. The assistant referee says, calls her over, no, it's a penalty. So I think there's going to be tons of debate about that, but there's no debate about this finish here by Mimi Alidou. This is pure class against a goalkeeper who knows her very well, who guessed the wrong way, but that's the way to finish a pen.
And just to get some clarity on that rule, if the infraction happens outside the box, even if the player falls into the box, it's a free kick outside the box.
It's a free kick, but it's also important to note that the lines of the 18-yard box belong to the box. So if it's along the edge of the area, then the right call would be a penalty, but I'm not convinced that the infraction was in the box or on the line.
That's a great point, great clarification. Moments later, Mimi Alidou's teammate Shalina Zadorsky elated because she thinks she has evened things up, her second goal of the season. This one was called back, offside on a corner. What'd you make of this one?
I was surprised because you frequently have, it's uncommon now to have players on posts. You see here that you do not in front of Karpenko. You don't have any Roses players who are back, but I believe, it's Fontana, number 28, who is perhaps seen as in the way, in the line of sight for Karpenko after a decisive header. And you mentioned it, elation, and the roof of BMO Field lifted off. They thought that was the curse erased there, but it was not to be. So lots of things worked against AFC Toronto today because they clearly generated enough offense to win the match, but it was not to be. And another woman who contributed to all that, yes, they hit the frame 4 times. Yes, Kaylee Hunter had a difficult day clinically, but Anna Karpenko, time and time again, came up with timely save after timely save.
She was incredible. She kept her team in this one. And again, they converted when it mattered. At the 73rd minute, Elise Bennett makes it 2-0 for the Roses. This was our Toyota Electric play of the match. And what I loved about this, Amy, is she never gave up.
She didn't, and we've seen the Roses attack come to life, and particularly the front half of this year is via this woman, this archetypal center forward who's strong, who's a big body, is a target, but when she gets the ball on her foot, she's not particularly pacey, but she's so difficult to dispossess. So she goes across Rollins. It's such a clever first touch. Rollins backs off, doesn't want to foul her, and then D'Angelo bobbles it, and then she's hungry. She never gives up on the play, and that's exactly what you want in your center forward.
In many ways, all of the characteristics you just described remind me of Jess DeFilippo, and now both those women are tied for the Golden Boot League in the NSL. Let's go pitch side now. Camila Gonzalez is with Elise Bennett.
Well, Elise, congratulations. You pick up the 3 points on the road, and it's such an important moment for your team. But I want you to walk us through your goal. Now, there was a little bit of chaos there in the box. Talk to me about that moment for you and what it meant to score.
Yeah, I think as a striker, I'm just trying to anticipate the second shot. So obviously I want the first to go in, but keeper made a good save, and I saw that it bounced in the box. So I'm going to attempt to be the first one there every single time. So I'm just happy it went in. I'm happy we got a big 3 points on the road, and it's on to the next.
And now you have 9 goals scored this season. You tied Jessica DeFilippo from Vancouver. How much are you thinking about that race to be the league's top goal scorer this season?
Yeah, I think for me it's less about individual accolades and more about the team. So I'm just focusing on getting us to the top. Obviously, we're sitting in second right now, so we're going to do whatever it takes to get to number 1. But obviously, I'm going to try to do whatever it takes to help my team win. So if that means scoring, then that's great, as that's what I'm here to do. But yeah, it's not my main focus.
It's been an eventful week for this team, of course. A new interim head coach. Talk to us about the reaction within the locker room, off to a great start, but things to build on, things to improve on. And how did you feel overall with this new step forward for this team?
Yeah, I think that this week brought a lot of adversity, some of it unexpected, but I think that that's just sports. So we got to pick our head up, we got to move forward, and obviously we're sitting in a decent spot, but we're not satisfied. So I think that it's all about coming together as a group and focusing on the next objective, and the objective this week was how can we beat Toronto? We did that, and now we're on to the next. And
we saw in that huddle, Maurice giving you guys a few words. What was said, and just what was that moment like for you?
Yeah, I think we're all just trying to build her up and tell her, like, we're happy she's in this position. Obviously, again, the adversity, unexpected, but we want to do whatever it takes to help this team win, and that's going to be being behind Reese and moving forward.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Elise, and congrats again.
Thanks so much.
Toronto disappointed because they knew what was on the line today. Second place was on the line. They had so many shots. They just couldn't convert, but you have to think Maryse Bard-Martel and company thrilled after this one. This is big for her, Amy, as she leads this team right now.
It's huge, and I think a huge kind of boost of confidence for her as that head coach. Even though the interim tag is attached to it, she has the backing and the confidence of the players. But the little tactical tweaks that she made at halftime made such a difference in the second half. They were subtle, but going instead of with Paczurski and Alidou underneath Bennett as that number 9 and the focal point in the attack, she went with more of a flat 4-3-3 with Paczurski and Alidou seeking to find more gaps and more width, which allowed them to march up the pitch and really capitalize on their opportunities.
And it's exciting, She said before when she was the interim head coach earlier in the season, she was just trying to keep Robert's ship going in the direction he wanted it to go. And now she can put her own spice on the match and on this team, as she told us earlier this week. And here you go. You heard Elise Bennett talk about the standings. With the win, the Roses maintain second place. And look at that. They're now just 3 points behind the Ottawa Rapid in first with 9 games left to go in the regular season. Let's look ahead to Week 18 in the NSL. Saturday, August 22nd, the Rapid host the Vancouver Rise at TD Place. They'll try to rebound after a surprising loss to Calgary yesterday. Sunday, August 23rd, the Tides host AFC Toronto at noon. That's right here on TSN. And also on Sunday, the Roses return home to host the Calgary Wild at 3 p.m. So an exciting second half at BMO Field today. No shortage of drama, that's for sure. But in the end, Montreal comes out on top 2-0, picking up their first win of the post-Robert Rossitoiu era. A big result from the Roses. Their undefeated streak on the road continues, while AFC Toronto's curse at BMO Field lives on. From all of us here, including Amy Walsh, Matt Cullen, Camila Gonzalez, producer Zach, director Richard, and everyone on our broadcast team, I'm Kate McKenna. We'll see you next time.